This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
So, Arn, we were just talking about this, and you mentioned it. The Jim Crockett promise of $25,000 for that pay-per-view payoff. You said, and we talked about it, you received less than half, $11,700. Based on the interview with Mr. Crockett, it seemed that this promise was actually for Starrcade, not the Bunkhouse Stampede, as we had talked about and has been talked about in previous episodes. But Conrad pressed Jim Crockett on this, and I have the clip here that I want to play for you, so let's take a listen.
But Arn Anderson recently has told the story about how he was upset with the payoffs. And he came to you and expressed some of those concerns. And supposedly you said, hey, I know that we haven't hit all the numbers we needed to this year, or we hope to. Stick with me. Starrcade's going to be where we'll finally make some money. I'm going to pay you guys $25,000 a piece for that match. When they get their payoff in early 88, it's for $12,500 with no conversation. And I understand from the outside looking in as a business person, well, gosh, you got a tenth of what you thought you were going to get on pay-per-view. You were probably scraping just to get the 12.5 together.
Yes.
But Arn says he never had a conversation with you about that. And had you sat down and said, Arn, that was my best intention, but here's what happened with Vince. We're gonna keep going with this thing. I'll make it up to you on the next one. And because there's no conversation, his feelings are hurt.
I'm sure his feelings were hurt, but I did not go back and say, hey, I failed on this side, so therefore I can't do this. I should have in hindsight, but
we're going to talk eventually about how Arn and Tully would jump in 88. But when I really pressed him on that issue, what if he being you, would have came to him and said, hey, that was my intention, but I couldn't do it, and here's why, and explained everything that went into Vince sabotaging the pay-per-view, that he would have stuck with you. Was it at the time you didn't feel like you could sort of show that vulnerability with the talent? Because you don't want everyone to leave, right?
No.
And if they start to hear, well, we can't make payoffs, now it feels like,
once you do that, it's like, the rats are going to jump the ship.
Yeah, there's a run on the bank, so to speak. They're all gone.
Arn, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I never had a strong relationship with Jimmy, but, I never had a crossword with him really either. It was just a couple of instances on like business related that I felt like I could ask him man to man. It hurts me to see him in the shape he is in when he's doing this
interview.
Yeah, he's a beaten man. When he's going back, you can tell he's reliving it.
He has nothing. Yeah, he doesn't know what to say.
What do you say?
Yeah.
I would have stayed with him as far as I go. If we would have had that conversation and he would have told me, hey, Arn, this is what happened. I'm sorry. I told you I was going to, pay you this, but it's just, hey, I'm just hanging by fingernails, But he didn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's just you get it and you see it and you're waiting on a conversation and one never comes. And then you start to see things like on the next TVs, which I'm sure we're going to talk about here in a little bit. You start to see things happening that would have never happened before.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, this is strange. What have I done to deserve this? I've done nothing but work my ass off. Whatever they said, like you said, couldn't say no. I never knew you could say no in this business. Whatever you asked, I'm going to get it done the best I can for you. But there were guys that at the right time did say no, and it benefited their career because the office knew they couldn't just steamroll them, run them over, treat them any way they wanted. And it was guys that were in a similar position that I was in. I just don't think we were viewed as critical.
Hindsight being what it is, Do you look back at this, we're showing some of these clips now, and say, if I could have done it over, I myself would have been maybe a little bit more proactive and gone and talked to Jimmy? Or was that just a different era and that's just how you were supposed to act back then?
Well, I didn't know you could go have a conversation like that. I
Okay.
was there. I was paid to do a job, do it the best I could, and that's it.
Okay.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.